Some people walk into a room and the air gets a little tighter, and they never said a word. If that's you, you've probably got no idea you do it. Here's the thing. You go quiet, and the people around you don't settle. They start scrambling. They fill the gap too fast. They explain stuff you never asked about. A few of them get louder. Ask them why, and they just shrug. They honestly don't know. And this isn't you imagining things. There's actual psychology under it. By the end of this, you'll be catching it in real time. 7 signs people are quietly intimidated by your silence. Number 4 is the one almost nobody catches in themselves. You know the feeling already. You stop talking and the room shifts. Someone jumps in too fast. Someone laughs at nothing. Somebody asks if you're all right. You seem quiet today. And you're sitting there totally fine. Then you go home and start wondering if you're the problem. Too closed off, too hard to read, too far inside your own head. Here's what nobody points out. That discomfort you're picking up, it isn't yours. It's theirs. You're just the one person in the room not rushing to smooth it over, and for some people that's genuinely hard to sit next to. If you've ever been called intimidating when you did nothing remotely intimidating, this is why. One quick thing before we get into it. How long can you sit in total silence with another person before it starts to itch? Not long, as it turns out. People who study conversation found the discomfort kicks in somewhere around 4 seconds. 4. The heart rate goes up, and people start saying they feel judged or rejected over a pause. Most of what we say to each other works like a handshake. The words barely matter. What matters is the little signal underneath. I'm fine, you're fine. Nothing here is a threat. You skip that handshake without even trying. And if somebody's sense of safety depends on getting it back, your calm doesn't read as calm to them. It reads as a verdict they can't see. That's the engine under all 7. Let's go. Sign 1. The gaps you leave, they can't stand to let them sit. You finish a thought and stop. You're not waiting on anything, you're just done. Watch what happens. Somebody fills it almost instantly, usually with something they didn't mean to say. A random comment, an overshare, a joke that lands weird. That's not them being chatty. The silence built pressure, and they reached for the valve. To you, a pause is a rest. To them, it's a question hanging in the air with no answer. So they answer it. And this flips what you've been told your whole life. The person who breaks the silence first usually isn't the confident one. They're the rattled one who hides it well. So watch who can't make it 3 seconds without jumping in. Tells you a lot. Sign 2. They start defending themselves, and you never accuse them of anything. You ask something ordinary. Or you say nothing at all. You just look at them while they talk. And suddenly, they're justifying, explaining a choice you never brought up. I mean, the only reason I did it that way is about something you hadn't even mentioned. Think about the last time someone did that to you, defended themselves out of nowhere. What were they fighting if you never threw a punch? When your attention is quiet and steady, people feel seen. Most of them aren't used to it. And being seen without somebody also reassuring you starts to feel a lot like being graded. So they argue with a verdict that lives entirely in their own head. You weren't accusing them of a thing. Your quiet just handed their conscience a microphone. Sign 3. Your calm reads as cold, and they want you to smile about it. You're not upset, you're just not announcing that you're fine every 5 seconds. You're steady. Quiet because nothing's wrong, not because you're hiding something. But to someone who runs every feeling out loud as it happens, a person who doesn't is unreadable. And what people can't read, they assume the worst about. So you get the lines. You seem so serious. You mad? You should smile more. And here's where it splits depending on who you are. If you're a woman, the stillness gets called cold, and people want you to warm it up to make them comfortable. If you're a man, that same stillness reads as arrogance, like you think you're better than the room. Same silence, opposite labels. Both come from the same place. Somebody needed your face to manage their own feelings, and it wouldn't play along. That's the polite version, though. What people do when polite stops working, that's the next one. The sign I said almost nobody catches in themselves. Sign 4. They get louder just to pull something out of you. This one's sneaky, so watch for it. Some people, the second they hit your silence, they crank up. Bigger story, sharper edge, something a little provocative. They're not being cruel about it, they're fishing. What they're after is a reaction, a flinch, a rise, anything that proves they're getting to you, because that's how they know they count in the moment. Stay level, don't bite, and it frustrates them in a way they can't put their finger on. Sometimes they'll spin it around and call you the difficult one, when all you did was not fake a reaction you weren't having. You took away the one lever they use to feel in control. Not your fault. Still, it's a kind of power. Sign 5. They start confessing things into your silence. Funny thing here, the people who talk the most around you usually remember the least of what they said. You remember all of it. That gap is basically the whole game. You're not prompting anyone. You're not playing therapist. You're just there, not in any hurry to talk over them. And somehow people tell you things. Real things. Stuff they've kept from people way closer to them. 20 minutes in, and a near stranger is cracking open a door they normally keep shut. The psychologist Carl Rogers had a name for what you're doing without trying. Unconditional positive regard. Listening with no agenda, not waiting for your turn, not jumping in to fix it. It's rare enough that it pulls the truth out of people. And it costs you something. A lot of them pull back after, get a little awkward, dodge you for a week. You didn't do anything wrong. You witnessed them. And for plenty of people, getting actually seen is scarier than getting ignored. Sign 6. Not knowing what you're thinking quietly chews them up. With most people, you never have to wonder what's on their mind. They tell you constantly. You're not built that way. You hold your read of a situation instead of broadcasting it. You sort it out inside before any of it comes out. So people can't tell where they stand with you. And if somebody runs on approval, that not knowing is unbearable. Quick gut check. When someone asks what you're thinking, do you give them the real answer or the easy one? Most quiet people go with the easy one. There's a reason for that. So they keep poking. What are you thinking? You've been quiet. What's going on in there? It looks like curiosity. It's closer to them trying to get at the one read in the room they can't see. And when you say, nothing much, and you mean it, that unsettles them more, because now they're alone with their own guesses, and those guesses are almost always harsher than anything you were actually thinking. Sign 7. They can feel you noticing the thing they're hiding. This is the deep one. Every other sign is about something you do or don't do. This one's just about what you see. When you're quiet, you're not blank, you're taking it in. The gap between what someone said 5 minutes ago and what they're saying now. The forced laugh. The thing the whole room is politely agreeing not to look at. And you don't say it out loud. You don't use it against anyone. You just clock it. But they feel that you clocked it. That's the real root of the whole thing. You're usually not even judging them. It's that you're quiet makes it hard to keep the act up. Around a loud person, everybody gets to keep the mask on. Around a quiet one who's obviously paying attention, the mask goes see-through. And you didn't lift a finger. People will forgive almost anything before they forgive being understood. Quietly and accurately. One beat before they were ready for it. So let me say the part nobody really says. Somewhere along the line, you got taught that quiet means you're missing something, that you should be more out there, more expressive, more on, that the silence is some flaw you owe people an apology for. It's not. And here's the flip. The people most rattled by your silence are usually the ones most hooked on noise, and somewhere underneath, they know it. Your stillness isn't exposing them on purpose. It just shuts off the soundtrack they've been using to not hear themselves. That's not coldness, and it's definitely not something to fix. It's presence, which is rare in a world where half the people you meet are performing just to feel real. The ones who got intimidated were never reacting to a flaw in you. They were reacting to something your quiet showed them about themselves. That's theirs to deal with, not yours. And the right people won't need you to fill the air. They'll sit in the quiet with you and feel relieved they finally get to stop performing too. So here's the thing worth sitting with. What if the quiet you've apologized for all these years was never the problem? What if it's the one thing about you nobody could fake or steer or talk you out of? The thing some of them secretly wish they had. If one of these 7 hit something you've felt but never had words for, tell me the number in the comments. I read them. And if there's someone in your life who's spent years being told they're too quiet or hard to read, send them this. Sometimes hearing it explained once is the whole thing. Subscribe if you want more, and I'll see you in the next one.